So like the beginning. That's the part.
Okay.
That's the part I struggle.
Okay, the beginning.
Yeah, that's the part I struggle with. Is beginning. I do it on stage as well. I don't know how to start.
That's the
I don't
worst
know
part
how
of
to start on
everything.
stage authentically
That's the worst part of everything.
without just being like, "How's it going, everybody?"
Yeah, you say the same thing as everyone else. That's
Mm.
what I always do. But
Yeah.
don't take advice from me about anything. I've been a bad comedian.
You're very wise. You're wise beyond your years.
I just ask people a million questions.
That means you're wise. Some people don't even know to ask the question.
Oh, God.
You know?
You do sound like a 24-year-old.
Yeah. I am.
Um,
Sometimes I'll talk to people and I'll just, like this guy in my gym, and I was just saying dumb things in front of him. You can just see that look that they're giving you where they're like, "You are such an idiot."
No.
And it happened no, it was
What were you saying? Well, you're doing customer service stuff. That stuff, like talking to people every day, like.
I asked him when he thought I said, "Can I ask you a personal question?" And he said yes. And then I said, "When did you believe that you were a man? Like when did you when were you not a boy and when did you become a man?" And then he said 15, 16, and I literally was like, "Fuck." That's
This is
so
just like
insane.
a person at your gym. You asked that.
He's a member, yeah.
A member of your gym. You asked that. That's nice. That's.
He's a beast though.
When did you feel like you were a man? A good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never asked someone when they felt like they were a woman.
When was that?
When I felt like I was a woman,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think I'm still getting there. I'm like, what is happening?
I feel like a
With
child.
men, it's like a little different. You guys
Why?
have like, I feel like
Yeah, what does becoming a woman mean
I don't know.
to you?
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, he asked me. He's like, "Well, what does becoming a man mean to you?" And I just couldn't articulate it, and I just sounded. So I was like, "I think it's more of an idea of, I'm not really, I'm not really sure." But I just didn't have an answer, and I looked like a fucking idiot.
What was his answer? It's a stupid. I think it's because it's a horrible.
He said, "I know," and I asked it to a member climbing.
I think it's a weird question, but
I wanted to know. I was very curious.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And
Wait, what did he say? He said was
he
15,
gave a good
16?
answer. He was
Did
like
he have, like, an
he was like
event?
that's when I felt like I could like independently like evaluate like events and their outcomes and then like formulate my own thoughts on them and opinions. And I was like, that was a phenomenal answer. I definitely have not hit a moment where I've been
No.
like, oh yeah.
I think mine was 26. Like when I felt like I calmed down and was like, all right, the frontal lobe has loaded.
That's what everybody says. I see my friend just turned 25 and everybody's like, "Oh, your frontal lobe is fully developed."
I mean, you're still people are still idiots all the time
Mm-hmm.
and act younger.
But you're saying there is sort of like a moment where you're like, I am a different person than I was before in terms of like my loading bar has hit 100 in some capacity.
I just chilled out a lot, but I was also trying to work on that and like couldn't do it. My emotions were just like I also did a lot of I like just moved to Chicago at that time too and like made a new group of friends and so there was a lot of new, but I still feel like I don't know. I don't know what being a woman means. Like I don't know. Don't ask people that question.
I think it'd be even weirder if I asked women.
When did you feel like you were? Well, you'll get some sad answers. You'll get some.
Really?
Like,
What do you think they're going to be the sad answers? Like menopause?
No, you'll get answers of like how they grew up too fast because men were creepy and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fuck.
That's what you're gonna get if you ask a woman
Ugh.
that.
That's terrible. I had to grow up fast. Yeah. No one catcalled me, so I didn't grow up fast.
That is like a different connotation, but a lot of people do grow up fast because of like their trauma and shit. But then they're stuck in. I don't know. Stop asking me when people feel like women.
Yeah, I know. It's way too. Yeah, so I asked the member, but to be fair, he gave me an article to read that was written by this dude who went into like a German sex club, and it was just him writing about his crazy experience having an orgy.
Was it a good article?
It's phenomenal. It's very good. So,
Hell yeah.
that's a soul for a soul. I guess my question's a little more. It's demanding a lot more of him.
Yeah, it's demanding. Yeah, he didn't even write the article. He gave you the article.
He was handing it off to me. I was sort of like, "Here, what do you think about this?"
He gave you the article.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of stoned right now. So
I asked another man when he knew he was a man while he was working out. It's kind of weird. But
and men kind of talk like that, though.
yeah. There's like a
people. I feel like I've heard more of men having like turning point moments than women. I can't think of anything right now. I'm like the worst.
Yeah, I'm working on being stoic. It's like it's my thing right now. Stoicism.
That's the new demeanor you're working on.
I'm stoic.
Yeah.
My car got towed the other night, and I got back. I walked all the way back to the spot where it was, and it just wasn't there. And I walked up and down that block like 20 times.
Wait, your car got stolen?
It got towed.
Oh,
it got towed.
That sucks.
But I just, I remember I was like, I could freak out, or I could be stoic right now. So I took a divvy to a Wendy's. I was very stoic.
I don't know if that's stoic.
That's what Marcus Aurelius would do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in that same vein,
he would be like, well, honestly, I was like, we're all going to die.
That's nice. You're just trying to calm your anxiety.
I'm not going to remember this.
Oh, you're just calling it being stoic.
Yeah. But also I am stoic, yeah.
Yeah. And also working on.
People see me across the room, they're like, stoic.
Stoic.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, though. That helped you. That was a good way for you to not freak out when something
Yeah,
happens.
exactly. I used stoicism.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to be stoic. That's how I'm, like, trying not to, like, overshare. Because I'm trying to be mysterious.
Dude! No way! No way!
Are you also working on being mysterious?
No way!
Right now? Yeah, I'm working on being mysterious.
Look at if I type in
well.
working into my phone app, it says I'm working on being more mysterious. Edited January 21st.
It is. I don't know how it's going for you. It is not going well for me.
I'm so not mysterious.
No, not mysterious.
I'm just boring when I'm quiet, or just like weird,
like off-putting.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
Off-putting.
I can't. My silence
I know.
is
I'm
so
like, we gotta
bothersome.
find. We have to find a happy medium
God.
because Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but then you really think about what is mysterious, and you're like, well, mysterious is not knowing. A lot of the time, like hot people. I've been trying to write a bit on this for like a year, so I've thought about it a lot.
Mysterious.
Exactly. Ugly people aren't mysterious.
Because you're like, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's just that's just an ugly person leaning against a piece of furniture. But when you see a hot person, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, but a lot of times the hot person actually has less
That's
going
the
on
thing.
most of the time.
They're
mysterious because they don't have anything interesting to say.
Literally, the intro to the bit, which is like the only line that works, is you ever talk to somebody and 30 seconds into the conversation, you're like, I can't tell if you're mysterious or boring.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
and some people can fool you for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
then
I
you're like,
like
I don't know
totally
anything.
believe things that like hot people tell me. They'll tell me facts,
Dude, I'm
and I'll just
so-
believe a
I
fact
know.
because an attractive person told it.
The
to
whole
me.
biology thing works so well on me.
Oh,
It's embarrassing.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I succumb to it
That's
hard.
something I like hardcore have to manage sometimes. It's being like, don't fall into the trap of the hot person.
I really think a hot person could just convince me to murder someone. It would not be that hard. If a really, truly, and it could be a guy or a girl.
Yeah. Oh.
Dude, that's the
yeah.
thing is like hot guys
yeah.
are super intimidating too.
Yeah, because they're hot guys.
All my gay viewers. God damn it. Half of my viewers are just gay guys that want to have sex with me, and I'm making it sound like I'm so gay. But an attractive person is an attractive person.
Yeah, don't isolate your market.
Sometimes guys have those eyes that huskies have. where they're just like the ice cold ones and they're looking through you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why am I blushing? Jim Jeffries has a bit about this, about he met Brad Pitt and he did a whole bit on it.
Dude, I can't even. I've never met. I don't do well under like mid-level hotness.
I don't do well under any level.
Like, Brad Pitt is the biggest level hotness.
That's the highest tier.
Yeah.
It's the top of the mountain.
Yeah. You
top
think
of the mountaintop.
you
wow.
think that we could go against the final beast right now? No way. I don't even do well with like just baseline attractive people. I still haven't gotten that one down.
No. And it's fucked up, I've realized, because of how obviously different my treatment to those people is, because when I'm with people that I just don't even consider attractive, they're like, "You're so open, it's unbelievable." And I'm just like, "Yeah, to you." I tell everything to you.
Yeah, to you.
But like going up to them, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
Yeah.
There's a difference
Like if you're
between,
complaining about
like,
hot
being
people, the
attractive
person,
and them being like a hot person.
that's true.
Hot people were always hot people, and then they just like float around. I don't know.
Yeah, what happens to hot people?
I don't know. The ones that I've always known seem to continuously keep getting hot. So
Yeah.
and I'm
I
happy for them.
seriously
with
think
that.
it's the biggest privilege in society is being hot, because like I think hot supersedes race and sexuality and all of it, even
absolutely.
money, because like
Oh yeah.
that's like what rich guys will do is they'll like hook up with the young hot chick.
Yeah, hot.
At
Hot's everything.
That's the Bill Belichick move.
Yeah, being hot.
And that guy knows how to
is
be strategic.
everything. And it's because of people like us that will just listen to them. We are contributing
Yeah, and then
to
we're
the
just
problem.
enamored by everything that they have to say. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're so thoughtful. Fuck.
Yeah. That's why they're all successful.
I would
We're
always
like, oh my God, the hot person said that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. My favorite is like, yeah, it's so fun to watch. Like, again, you're going to have to cut out some pause.
I'm not going to. Find your way back.
I know. Okay,
You
back to
swam
hot
far
people.
away from the fucking
Okay.
school.
If someone's like objectively hot, watching them on a lineup be like hot funny,
Oh,
where they're just kind of like working a room.
where a whole room is just like, uh-huh.
And they're like,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, they just said 4 words, but they looked pretty hot doing it.
They
so
said
I
it
get
with real attitude. Whoa.
Wow, I never even thought about it that
When
way.
you say it like that,
They said it with
You're right.
real attitude.
you know, like when their punchlines are like, you know, and you're like,
yeah.
I do know.
Yeah. Thank you, hot person.
Holy shit.
God, you're just like me. We
I
think
noticed
the
the
same. I noticed the same things. Hot person.
You and I were not so different. I'm always trying to like prove to them that I can like talk to
Yeah,
them.
I'm like, we're the same.
when we're in
hot
the same room
people.
together, like you
Yeah.
don't freak out or anything.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a hot girlfriend and I asked her what it was like to be hot, and she just without any hesitation was like, it's hard because some people just assume that you're not interesting and like you don't have any depth to you. And I was just like, what? You're so
Yeah, that sucks.
No, I'm kidding. I
Damn
just
it.
thought of that in the moment. But I feel like such an asshole saying that out loud. No, she said that, and I was like, whoa.
Never thought about
But
it like
but then
that before.
also, yeah, I never like to me it's just like if you're hot, I just assume that you just have no problems, which is not true. It's like money. Like people have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's like if you're offered that, you're not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not true.
And
'Cause would
just-
you change if someone like, you know, Surrogates,
Surrogates?
the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Oh no, I've never seen
It's
it.
where like everybody has like a
Yes,
a
I
body,
have seen it, and you can put it in
just
any
a hot
body.
person. Yeah, and you're just like at home laying
No,
there
I would
like
never
this.
do that. I would be severely depressed. Or like there's no way your soul can live like that. Like, just in a completely separate body. At least theirs kind of looked like themselves.
No,
There were
theirs
some
were completely. I'm pretty sure it was like white guys would have like Japanese women as their.
No. That is true, but with the two main characters,
Oh yeah.
the husband and wife,
Well, the main
didn't theirs
character was
kind of?
neat. He refused to have one. Wasn't that his whole thing?
Did he not?
Yeah, and then like everybody hated him for it, 'cause he was like, "It's evil." You, and I remember in the scene.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the same movie.
Maybe I'm just wrong. It's also I don't think it's like a movie that a lot of people have been like, "Oh, I love surrogates." It's kind of a weird movie. It's a good movie though.
Yeah. Well, the movie that I saw, whether it's, I think it is, I just think I don't understand plot, but the one that I saw, yeah, no, I would not put my body just like in another body. God, but if everyone was,
I was gonna
doing
say,
it,
but if
everyone's doing it, and you're
It's
like,
kinda like if you had showed yourself how often you go on like Instagram like 10 years ago or like even 15 years ago.
yeah,
I got out of the shower today and I just like immediately looked at my phone and I just froze and I just thought to myself like if 10 years ago I just had a video of me getting out of the shower and just immediately just like wet hand just like looking at my phone, I'd be so disgusted. I'd
yeah,
be like, why is that even in there?
we got to work on that.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like hurting my neck, and I'm just not doing anything about it.
Hurting your neck?
Yeah, I feel like my neck is like not great
'Cause
because
of-
of looking at my phone.
How do you look at what's your posture?
I don't know.
Are you looking down?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not like.
Oh, I'm a
That's
No, I'm kidding.
insane.
Dude, my buddy in college though,
I don't know.
shout out Ryan Camerata. He used to hold his phone up to his head like this and then scroll with his pointer finger. It was crazy.
Yeah, that is.
It's unbelievable.
God, I keep losing this thing. This is like my
I get
right
so happy.
here.
What? Oh,
Right
that's your
here.
posture?
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, but I'm just like, well, unless I'm on the couch, then I'm like.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, it just seems so unnatural. I was like thinking the other. I'm like never alone with my own thoughts anymore.
It's so funny to say that and then like place it under your bottom like you're like a hen on eggs. You're like,
I know. I like
it's so
always,
fucked up like our attachment to this and then just put it directly underneath you.
I always have it with me. I mean, it's definitely made.
You lost it. You-
I did lose it earlier. Where was it? Oh, it was in the chair. Damn it.
It was like 6 inches from where it currently
know.
is, but I mean the pillow is tough. I've been gotten by the pillow.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
the
I lose
couch cushion.
everything.
Yeah.
I lose everything.
Every time I lose something, I'm just like I can't believe I pulled off a real magic trick. Like
It's just
if you
gone.
if you gave me a timer of 10 minutes and you said in this room lose your phone, I couldn't do it. I would find it. Like any place that I hid it, but then without
Yeah.
even trying to do it, I'll just lose my phone. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, losing your phone isn't
Like,
placing
that's a
it
magic
somewhere
trick.
that you know that you placed it
Yeah.
and then having to go find it.
It's like on top of like the blade of the ceiling fan.
Do you ever like decide to rapidly reorganize aspects of your life and then you're like can't find something? You're like, "Oh, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to be like this is going to make life so much easier." And then I'm like, "Where the fuck?"
And then
I
it
put that
derails the
thing.
entire thing.
Mhm.
What was your thing?
I don't know. It'll just happen where I'll like reorganize my closet and then put something somewhere like super. But then I like have to trace back the thought process
Yeah,
that
you
I
got to
thought
memento
I
it.
had,
Yeah.
that I thought I would remember.
And it normally is very inefficient.
I'm like, why did I do that? Oh, the breeze feels so nice.
I haven't done that, but I like every single Monday, I'll just be like, or no, every single Sunday night, which means I'm winding up to it, will just be me like freaking out and being like, nothing is going well. My life is falling apart. I need to fix all of this right now. And then there's always like, and like, normally it's not do anything different in terms of like get stuff, but there was one week where I was like, I need a bulletin board. I need cork. I need a big cork board. And if I just have push pins and I have different colored index cards, I can put all my jokes up there and just build it and visualize it. And I'll build 10 minutes so fast. and now it just has like a bunch of random notes and papers and
Yep. No, the corkboard and thumbtack industry has been driven by people like us
That's so
that are
true.
going to
Yeah.
fix our lives
In haste.
tomorrow. Yeah.
I like sped to Walmart to get a fucking
Yeah, and
cork
then
thing.
that's all I need, and then it's all
I know.
fixed
And then it's like,
again.
but dude, I almost asked my roommate because we have like one very large portion of our wall in our living room that just doesn't have anything on it. It's like the last thing that doesn't have any direct decoration. And I almost asked him in earnest, would you mind if I got a 20-foot whiteboard for the living room? And then just have markers and be like, maybe if I can like really visualize my bits, like if they're really big and I can take a step back and like, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets
we've
insane. And then I
all-
was like, I'd film myself doing it. And then I could look at the archives and I could go back and see what each session was like.
All right, that's
Yeah.
actually crazy, but not crazy, but yeah. The filming and re-looking at the art. Why would
I mean,
that be a
how
part
is
of the
that different
process?
than listening to your set? You know?
Actually, I can show you
We
something.
watch practice film.
Actually, that's a great. You want to see something?
Maddie is getting up and walking to the Anne Frank door that you wouldn't know is a door because it looks like a shelf. And she is reaching high into a dark corner just out of her reach.
So that's kind of what like this shit is.
Whoa. Oh, I love this.
My whole scroll of like a process of developing a company, but it starts with like your passions.
Oh my god.
And then I start doing the whole process, and it keeps going, and then the thing is designed, and it's a final product.
How long is that paper? Can you hold that up really quick?
This whole fucking thing.
I guess not the whole thing.
No, yeah, I can hold it up. That's what we learned in school, was this like huge creative process, and we would bring our scrolls in. So what this would kind of, I mean, like, people work in that creative process, but yeah, it's a big ass scroll, and then yeah, you start with everything. I always tell myself that I'm gonna do this with stand up too.
I was just gonna ask if you've done this with stand up.
No. What I do kind of like.
Did you do this in a day?
No, so this is like, I mean, maybe some of this stuff, like this whole fucking thing.
Uh-huh.
No, this is over the course of a project. Like,
I really want to do this with a bit now.
I have a couple of them I can show you. Like, I think, what was it, like 5 weeks? We would do like a project for 5 weeks, and it would literally start with, what are you interested in? And then build out a business. So I think this one, I don't remember what this one would have been or come from. Possibly this like neighbor shit that I did.
Neighbor?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
This looks like you were solving like a missing persons case.
yeah, and it's so stupid, and then the outcome of this is like,
No, I do not think this is stupid. I'm just
Um,
fantasizing about doing this with one bit. And
Yeah.
and then just like getting to the end of the roll and being like, this is the bit at the end of this level of time or whatever.
some of this stuff is funny.
Sexual abuse victims. Whoa.
Okay, we can't read it.
Domestic violence victims.
We can't read it.
Oh man.
That was my
You gotta
21-year-old.
do that with a bit.
I mean, it's a great creative. It's the whole creative
How
process.
long were the tables that they had at this school of yours?
They were really long.
100-foot long tables. Like
No, they weren't
Hogwarts.
100 foot. But what you would do is it would be like in the scroll, and you'd roll it out, and then like if the table was too long, then you roll up the other side. But like a thought process like this, they have like, because this is like emulating what, like a war room within a war room. For some reason, that just sounds so douchey. But like a war room within an agency, where all your shit's up for the whole process. But you can kind of have versions of this online now.
That makes
But
sense.
the whole scroll part was fun. I used to be like obsessed with it, like this whole like showing the whole thing on because It's easy to write things down, like, and just move really fast when you're like writing things down or like making a fucking that. I don't remember, but
I like the flow chart. Flow charts are good.
lots of charts. Oh, there's
Yeah.
there's loads of charts in this bad boy.
Well, so how do you write your bits?
That's a good question.
You clearly have the ability to outline a process, so
That's a good question. That I have not figured out, but
that's a fucking damn true answer. That's damn true. I said that like fucking Bo Bennett from The Ranch.
I don't know. Do you have like a thing you do every time? Some people do,
Well,
and that's
my
great.
fucking
I need to
process.
that's next step for me. After I'm mysterious, I need to figure out how the fuck to nail down a process.
I think the process might lead to the mysteriousness. Once I crack the process, I'm like, aha, now I can do this.
I know.
I don't know how it is with you, but how I'm making jokes is just always in flux. It's just constantly changing. It's just me just always trying new stuff. It's like this week I'll write mostly in my tiny notebook, and then next week I have like 7 different notebooks, and then like sometimes I'll type, and it just like it's cyclical because I've gone in a pattern of like I have a tablet and then a big notebook and then a tiny notebook, then a medium notebook, then my computer, and then back to the tablet and then back through.
Oh, okay. I have all those things, but it's not a part of a process. It's just like an explosion of stupid ideas in my brain.
Well, that's what my process is.
Yeah.
Saying my process is so stupid, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like whenever I try to be structured, I even downloaded an app that my friend who's doing a PhD recommended to me for like thinking. It's called Obsidian. And when you open it, it has like webs. And wait, actually, I'm going to show this to you.
Okay.
But I would try to do this. So I have all my bits here. And then it's just like a node, but you can see everything that's connected to it. And then the plan was to just like, I can then see everything that I've rewritten for all these bits. But it just became too much, and I just stopped doing it.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like you're organizing your thoughts a little bit more than you're thinking.
Exactly. So it like restrained the way that I actually thought. It like
Yeah, that's slowing it down too much.
yeah, like you can't put it in a box. It's very you can't. It's like the golden snitch.
Yeah, it's
And then every time I think about a bit, I feel like I'm thinking so two-dimensionally about it. And whenever I'm trying to come up with something new, like really trying to focus on something specific, I can never think about anything in a creative way. But then you'll just be like on a random walk and you'll think out of nowhere for like an addition to a random bit that you haven't done in like 4 months. And then you'll try that and it will work. And then now that bit is in your rotation again. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, that's just a creative process.
But it sucks. It's so stupid. And it's like, so
Yeah.
by sitting down and writing, are you increasing the frequency that ideas randomly come to you?
Yeah, so what you're doing is like, 'cause like, I mean, I need to apply it to stand up as a real human, but like, yeah, what you're going to do, and you could do exercises. So whether it's like exercises in terms of like, all right, like let's try to make this a comparison. Okay, then let's try to do this. Then let's try to do this. And then you're like cranking and it's like exercising your brain. So then when it relaxes, it can like process all of that
Like
information.
subconsciously?
Yeah. And then have you ever seen Spy Kids?
Yes.
Okay. So like
I have
in
no
my
idea where this is
opinion,
going.
my like the most spot on version of the creative process I've ever seen is so they're trying to reverse the third brain, and he had
What's the third brain?
oh my god, are we gonna have to cover the whole plot of Spy Kids? I'm into it, but okay,
it.
so the third brain. So Gregorio Cortez is a spy agent working for the government, I think it's a private. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, while he's there, he creates
like
a
Tesla.
third brain, which is like the most powerful brain that can like make someone like a superhuman.
Okay.
So what they do is he tries to destroy it, but then the bad guy goes and steals the third brain.
Of course.
And so there's two.
So he creates it, and then he's like, "This is too powerful."
And so he was
He's one of those
supposed to
pussies?
destroy it,
Yeah.
and then he kept it.
Understandable though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, and remember their like
his
snack.
baby.
Remember their safe house.
I don't remember any of it.
Oh my god, I love Spy Kids so much. Their safe house
They're
is
thumbs,
so banging. So the thumbs are actually the minions of. You think the bad guy is Floop, but Floop just got.
It sounds like a Norwegian drama.
Floop
You
just
think
gets.
Floop is the bad guy.
Floop gets topsy-turvy. He wants to have his show. He loves children and stuff. But then the bad guy comes in, and I don't remember his name. And he's actually the one pulling the strings.
Uh-huh.
And they're actually kidnapping government officials and turning them into these characters on the TV show. And then the Thumbs are like the minions of everything. And then they're also on the TV show. And then they steal the third braid because they're going to create... I love this movie. They're going to create clones of government officials' children around the world so that then they can swap the children and then that
Whoa.
child is
They'll
an
infiltrate?
assassin. It's a kid assassin.
Whoa.
So
That's so clever. No one would suspect a child. Wait, so when they
exactly.
clone it, do they have to age it to the kid? How does that work? If I'm derailing this, just keep going.
They
by the way.
don't really like get into
They don't get it.
they just have this kid factory. And you're
You
like,
just
oh,
believe
they're
them.
like pumping out these kids that look exactly like the other
Have they
kids.
done it? Do they have the kids?
The kids are made. The kids are made.
Oh shit!
All they needed was the third brain. They stole the third brain, and now they need to get it back. And they're a family of spies. But the kids become spies because they weren't spies, but they're scrappy. So then,
I need to rewatch this.
great movie. 2 and 3 are also fantastic, but
Is it a
1
boy and a
is
girl?
amazing. A boy and a girl.
Okay.
And so
So one a
with
shark
like the
and
hottest parents ever.
oh damn.
Um.
When you were a kid, but wait, did this come out when you were a kid?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, so how I describe the creative process.
Of course.
So
Which is related.
they need to reverse the third brain. So
Oh, okay,
Floop
okay,
comes
okay.
back around. Now he needs to reverse the third brain,
Reverse
and he
the
like,
third brain.
and he's like trying so hard to do it. He obviously understands the coding language to an extent because he's
Mhm.
able to try to figure it out.
Floop has some proficiency.
Some proficiency.
Yeah.
And he's trying so hard and he's working at it. And then he just has like a moment of clarity and he's like, and then he goes, bum, bum, bum. And then it's reversed. And it's like,
What?
that's how I describe the creative process is like, you got to work, you got to exercise, you got to work. And that will provide clarity. And then it's going to be about like a few steps and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, for some reason, just like exercising. I mean, there's definitely like a psychological reason, but yeah, it's like exercising your brain, and then you're gonna like, if you keep pushing at it, it's like tearing clay away from a
Yeah. Drew was talking about this. He
sculpture.
was saying it's literally just like chipping away on a sculpture.
Yeah,
The quote was like, the 100th blow is only the 100th blow because of the 99 preceding it. Or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. I probably could have described the creative process quicker than
No,
the
that was
entire
perfect.
plot of Spy
No,
Kids.
that was perfect. The third brain. I understand it now.
It's a great movie.
Well, that's why I'm able to justify doing interesting shit and creative shit as like a write-off. 'Cause I'm like, isn't this making my brain better?
100%.
So isn't this in the long run helping stand up? But then I can use that to justify playing guitar for like 3 hours. And then I'm like, I could have just written for at least 2 hours.
Well, yeah, I mean, prioritizing time and stuff, but also having a life outside of it is very important to be able
Yeah.
to have things to write. Yeah, give yourself a break from writing by playing guitar. Like that's
But-
amazing.
But like how often do you sit down and write?
Oh, I'm not a case study for this. I am.
But it's
do
interesting
as
'cause it's
do
like-
as I say, not as I do.
So what's your
But that's what I do
from
for
when you
other
have an
stuff.
idea to doing it on stage? What's that like? And I know this varies with stuff. Because
I don't
sometimes I'll
know.
have an idea and then that night I'll just like go up and try it, but other times it just
Oh,
sits.
I get excited all the time and like always do new stuff that's absolute garbage and then don't go back and properly
Yeah.
work it through because I'm like, meh. Well, guess it sucks. And it's like, no, well, something is just like put a little more brain power into it and like
Yeah.
try to. Okay, now you just got your piece of clay. Now you have to like, you
But
have the idea for your Adonis. Now you have to like chip away at it.
hmm
And sometimes I'm like,
but chipping away seems like this simple, straightforward thing where you know what to do.
no, they're definitely
I think for
no.
stand up it's not though. That's what I'm
No, and
saying.
it's not, and I don't think it is for.
I
We
think
didn't
it's I
see
think it's easier to carve like Michelangelo than it is to
because you like knew what you
it's
wanted.
more
Okay, that's
abstract.
just like different technical skills. That's
Yeah, I guess I have
okay.
soft
Chipping away
hands.
was a was supposed to be a metaphor, but um,
Yeah, I am making it very literal.
well, like my job, like if you were to see my, I have an idea of what I think I want with whatever a design is, but I don't know if that's gonna look good until I do it.
hmm
And like just because of like what my medium is, it's a computer. It's kind of like it's like editing videos. Has every idea you've ever had.
Editing is such a wild experience for me because every time I go into it, I'm just like, I do not have enough footage to do a video, and then I just somehow miraculously, by my like standards, I just like find a clip. I'm like, I'm gonna use this, and then it just kind of just like assembles itself,
It's the same
and I
process.
never was planning what to do with it, and it just happens in front of me, and I'm just like, if you gave me all this same footage and all the same assets, I don't know if I'd make the same thing again. But this
Yeah,
just somehow appeared.
yeah. Where your okay, if you were to compare that to stand up a little bit, your premise is like this video is about lacrosse.
But stand up is like when you edit a video, it's like now I'm sending it into the ether and it's like, oh, maybe it gets like this amount of views or this amount of likes or this amount of engagement with a and then it's just done. With
Yeah,
with like a joke or a bit, you do it and then it gets like this and then you're like, okay, now I have to redo this a ton more times
yeah.
to then put it back out there. It's always like I'm putting it out, now I'm bringing it back.
That's what most content creation that's like what UX is. So like if you do like and a lot of content creation is like they're or it all is they're gathering insights about like how did that video do and then how can we like improve it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're always putting it out and taking it back. Nothing's ever like solid. Um I actually when I was doing job interviews, I didn't do it for this last one, but I did it for like a few of them. Is I would compare stand up to UX design. So I was
Did they eat
like,
that up?
yeah,
What'd you say?
because I was like UX is always like based off of you're constantly just working off of feedback from the users, like pretty close to in real time. And stand up, you're doing the same thing. You're in real time trying to figure out what's going to work, what's going to work in a certain room, is something
Mm-hmm.
working, how do you pivot, like
Knowing your audience.
knowing your audience in real time and then also reflecting on it. And like with work that you do for anything, like all right, you like reflect on it. Oh, I would have done this differently. I would have done this differently. And then in some cases you can change it for the next time, but in others you can't. But with stand up you can constantly. I just feel like I rambled.
That's okay. I mean, it was good. It was good stuff.
But yeah, I feel like it's closer to that stuff. Our last episode was much more interesting. Also, I shouldn't be
No.
I shouldn't be talking on this because I have been
I hate
the
myself
world's.
so much. This is my show.
I hate myself so
I
much.
wanted to be a Tonight Show host.
Yeah.
Should I interview you like we're on the Tonight Show?
No. I'll break down. Well, those work because they get everything's a setup on those. They like the producer's like, hey, I talked to them.
Yeah.
Bring up their Jamaican vacation.
Bring up that time that yeah.
Yeah, then they have a really funny story about their mother-in-law. And
Yeah.
it'll kind of tie into the heartwarming message.
And all the
that they're
people at
trying-
home, they get to see that and be like, my mother-in-law is also a pain in the
My
ass.
mother-in-law. It's
I
the
hate
hot
that.
person is just like us.
That's what it all comes back to.
It works every time. Oh God, that hot person's just like me. God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I
Now
really
can
like
go to
it
bed.
when I really like it when not hot people become celebrities.
Yeah,
Like Ed Sheeran, pure skill.
yeah, yeah. You know who's taking the internet by storm? Benny Blanco, baby.
I don't even know who Benny Blanco is.
Selena Gomez's no, insane music producer and Selena Gomez's fiance.
Is he a cool guy?
Yeah, he's awesome.
But he's not good looking.
Um, not conventionally
But here's
attractive.
the thing, though.
I'd just
You
say not
again-
conventionally attractive. He's seems amazing. Amazing and hot and like great at everything. So then it's in the eye of the beholder.
That's what me and Stephanie were talking about on the last episode.
The beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Just like you can meet somebody and not find them attractive, and then over time, just be like, they're so attractive.
Yeah.
But that's like super in right now. Like the guy that plays, it's like guys that look like rats, right? Wait,
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
well, he kind of does look like a mouse.
Yeah, I think
But,
he's mousy.
He looks like he's a Flushed Away character. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had a super cringy memory about the Flushed Away movie.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be
All right,
about
I'll
the
set the
lion
scene. The year is
thing.
2006.
Okay.
They just came out with the. I'm in first grade. I'm in
Oh.
Mrs. Fenella's class.
What are you born in 2000?
Mhm.
Nice. Okay.
Mrs. Fenella's class.
This is Vanilla.
We called her, but you pronounced it Mrs. Vanilla. And then when she, like, at the end of the
Silly.
year, in like the pottery class, we all made vanilla ice cream cones for her.
Oh,
And it's
cute.
still like a
How many vanilla ice cream
Christmas-
cones does she have?
I think like 60. I think she did a couple of classes.
Jesus. Okay.
I have two memories actually. So the first one is Flushed Away came out, the trailer dropped. And that was the buzz in first grade class.
Of course.
We were all like, "You see the Flushed Away trailer?"
Of
Oh my god,
course.
that part where the
That's
rat fell on
huge.
the pipe. And then I did a
Mhm.
reenactment in my chair of like pressing a button. I started physical in comedy.
course,
I did a
yeah, yeah.
reenactment of like pressing a button, and then like spinning all the way around in my chair and like getting flushed under the desk.
Hell
And
yeah.
I just had people being like, "Do it again," and I did it. I did it like 50. I was so happy to do it every time. I was like,
course.
"Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
such a
You like
fucking
add a
hack."
new spin
Yeah.
onto it.
Yeah, but
No.
the other memory that I just
Being a
remembered,
performer, that's not being
exactly. I thought so,
a hack. Yeah.
and
That's great.
I would really put my body on the line. but so the other thing that I just remembered was in that class after recess every day we would come in and we'd have math tests that we'd take that were like they'd be rectangular pieces of paper. They'd have like 20 on them or like 60 or something like that. And it would be simple addition and it would slowly ramp up in difficulty as you got like more sheets of paper.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Ugh,
remember I was so
know. This
bad at
one
math.
guy was. I was so bad at it too.
Well, I'm about to tell you my strategy.
Oh, well, I never even thought of doing a strategy. I was like, I'm done.
You're gonna. It's so retarded.
Okay, I want to hear your strategy.
So I was really slow, right? And
Uh-huh.
like I'd be like 2 + 4, and I'd be like. 2,
Fuck yeah,
1, 2,
yeah.
3,
And it's
4,
timed,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
and,
it's-
and
you
people
have
want to get
1
like
minute.
a
You have 1
million
minute, and people are
fucking
like
sheets.
just going down it. And they're like next sheet,
Ugh.
next sheet. And I remember the first one was the blue
Sam, I don't
sheet.
remember his last name, was the worst.
Anna
about
Antal
it.
was the one in my class. But I remember like it got to the point where at the beginning of the year, everybody just had the blue sheet. We were all equals. And then people started getting the yellow sheet and then the white sheet. And it would be like addition, division, subtraction, multiplication. Like it just keeps leveling
Yeah.
up. And I was on the blue sheet the entire year just because I never
Yeah.
finished it.
Uh-uh.
And then I just remember
You
one day-
never got off
I
the
never even got to the
first
bottom.
sheet a year.
Well, wait, no, listen. So halfway
Okay.
through the year, I'm like looking around the class, and it's me and the dumb kids that still have the blue sheet, and I'm like, things have to change.
What about me?
So I was like, I can just guess on every single one, and if I just go super fast, I'm bound to get some right. So literally,
nice.
she'd be like, "Ready, go," and I wouldn't even read the question. I'd be like 4, 6, 8, 10, just like completely guess. I'd get like 1 or 0 right.
But you'd get the second sheet.
But I literally would get to like the 4th sheet and kids would be like,
That's
"Whoa,
pretty smart.
Harry's on the 4th sheet." And then I remember
Harry's on the
they're
4th
like,
sheet.
"Yo, Harry just jumped from 1 sheet to 4 in a day." I was like, and my
Starting to
teacher was
think.
like, "Really? You need the yellow sheet?" And I was like, "Give me the division sheet right fucking now. I'm on that level, bitch."
Bitch.
And then
You better pass me the fucking division sheet.
that worked for like 6 weeks, and then my dad at my grandmother's house, I'll never forget it. He was like, "Dude, out of like 100 questions, you got 2 right. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, at least you didn't look like a damn fool in front of the kids still on the blue sheet.
I know, right? That's all that. But I think they knew.
Yeah, probably.
I think they knew.
I don't remember. I do remember. Oh God, I was so bad at that shit. I don't remember like knowing math. I don't know how I learned math.
I fucking hate math.
At one
such
point, I
a
was just like, okay, I guess I
passion.
like kind of know this stuff now.
Yeah. So you
And
got
then-
to a point of proficiency?
I can do like simple math, and then the rest of it, I have a calculator. And I'm talking, if you put like some of those worksheets in front of me right now, I'd crumble.
I'd be so fucked.
Yeah.
If you said find the derivative of something, I'd be like,
oh,
that's
no
no
way.
can do.
No way. No, I'm not.
Oh my god.
I use geometry in my job like
I was
way
amazing
more
at
than
geometry.
I
I
thought
fucking loved
that I would.
Are you good at geometry?
I have to be. You know, it's not geometry. You know what I'm using? Like
What?
simple division is when you would take those like standardized tests and they'd be like, fold up a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Now poke a hole in it. Then unfold the piece of paper. Where's the hole?
Yeah.
That's
you can
like what I
visualize
do.
it.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time. I'm like, okay, the hole would be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's math. That's kind of like that's like intuition, right? That's like graphic intuition. GI. You have great GI.
You have great GI. No math skills,
No.
no, honey. That's
I
not
mean, it's
math.
like with math you could do that, but you're like the savant.
Of
When
knowing
you unfold the paper,
where the hole in the unfolded paper is.
I can tell you exactly where that fucking hole is gonna be.
It might take me a couple tries.
There, wait. There.
There, wait, no, wait. But I
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have any skills.
I remember
I just
you were what?
I literally slept through school for like 18 years. I can't even tell you.
Did
I
you
could
also fall
write-
asleep in class?
Yes. Yes,
I would
fell
sit in
asleep
front row
class.
so I didn't fall asleep and I'd still fall asleep.
No, that just made it more obvious. There was no way I wasn't.
So were you like hoodie drawn? Like what kind of sleeper were you?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a great question. No, I wasn't a hoodie drawn because a lot of times I would try to kind of like hide it. But the worst feeling ever is like I would always do the like. You're like, I was like this one, right?
Yeah.
And then when you fall off of it.
And you have that inhale where you go
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was always this. I was always hand on the cheek. But yeah, I mean, the classes were just a place where I slept. And like I would occasionally wake up
The classes were a place where I slept.
like, oh my God, no, I like just started getting my sleeping problem under control. It's like
What's the worst manifestations of it?
one time, probably the thing where I was like, I definitely like have like almost lost jobs over not being able to falling asleep and not being able to wake up.
This is nuts.
There was one time that also like I probably could have helped it a little bit. But one time I was dating this guy and we like went on like a birthday trip and I didn't feel great, but I also like could not wake myself up to the point of like limp body,
Mm-hmm.
like slept for like 12 hours and like
Sounds like you had Lyme disease.
ruined the trip a little bit.
So he was just like, "Wake up, we gotta go hike," and you just you just didn't get up.
And I was like, no.
But so was that like physical incapability, or were you in your mind sort of like, "I just don't want to get up"?
I don't remember. 'Cause sometimes I don't know, and then I'll fall asleep places all the time.
Where do you fall asleep? Like on park benches and stuff?
Not really like that because that's dangerous, but like I used to have a problem where I'd fall asleep driving. That was a
I've done
big
that on the
issue.
highway.
Mhm.
That shit's scary.
Yeah,
When
it
you drift
is.
into, or you hit the rumble strip and it wakes you up.
I've been like slapping my face trying to stay
Dude.
awake, and then I've had to like sleep off on the side of the road, and like it's scary. But I don't park benches. I don't think park bench.
I've fallen asleep in the shower,
I don't know if I've ever fallen
just
asleep.
like facing away from it, head down.
Oh yeah, I've definitely fallen
Yeah.
asleep in the shower.
In the
Yeah,
morning.
I've fallen asleep in the bath.
That makes sense.
And you're just like, and then you wake up, but then you wake up and it's cold and it's
Ugh.
awful. It's
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. Yeah. No, the sleeping thing. Boy, do I love it.
Sleeping is great, but when your body wants it, it's just insane the lengths it will go to get it.
Well, it's hard for me to like justify, like, if I like really want to sleep, I'm not getting up unless like my life is threatened. Like, I just cut out.
I was driving back from New York one time, helping move furniture in for a family friend, and I just was falling asleep on the highway, and I couldn't stop it. And I like what you're saying. I was like, I turned the music all the way up.
Yeah.
I was like splashing water on my face. I
Mhm.
leaned my head out the window.
Yeah.
I tried yelling,
Yeah.
screaming.
I've
I
done
tried
the screaming too.
pinching myself, slapping myself,
Yeah.
punching myself. I tried turning up the music and singing to the music.
Yeah.
I would fall asleep while singing.
Yeah, I know.
And then I cured it by going to a rest stop, and I just got a bunch of warheads.
Oh, I wish
I just got the
that
most
worked for me.
sour
I would
candy.
like go and like chug Red Bulls and then still be like passed out.
That's nuts.
Yeah. The sleeping thing.
In
Singing.
college, one time I slept for 17 hours.
Oh yeah. College is just like the grossest type of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Like
It was like after finals, after lacrosse had ended, and I just had nothing to do the next day for the first time in so long.
yeah.
And I just was like, I'm not setting an alarm. I'm just gonna sleep.
Amazing.
And I woke up at like
Mm.
3 p.m. or something ridiculous like that. No, it was like 7 p.m. or something. I woke up as the sun was setting, and I had breakfast in the caf. I had Lucky Charms in the
yeah.
caf and watched the sunset.
Calf.
And I was like, this is my breakfast.
I also want to
Shout out to
reiterate.
the
I
calf.
I
Shout out to
just
the
said
roost.
I just said college is the grossest type of exhaustion. Obviously, mining.
Slavery. A quick asterisk from Maddie. You know, guys, I said something I have to address.
I want to
Quite
address-
that was niggling around in your mind.
I was like, all right, college is not the grossest type of exhaustion. Slavery and mines and the tired children
Oh no.
and doctors, nurses.
Don't forget about
Don't
them.
forget about the nurses.
Honestly, it's end to end. Everybody.
Firefighters, everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody but college students.
How dare you? Yeah, honestly, if I didn't have a sport in college, it would have been so easy. Like, just
Yeah, that's how I feel about if I didn't work in college.
yeah, the people without jobs, and I know people, and for a little bit it was me having a job, a sport, and school.
Yeah.
And then you meet people that are just doing school and they're not turning their assignments in on time, and you're like, what the
What are you
fuck
doing?
are you doing,
What are
dude?
you doing?
You have nothing to do.
The
Yeah.
thing that would kill me about it is the like rudeness from professors when I'm like, do you know how much I'm paying to be here right now?
You said that to them?
Oh, I had one professor that like was such a dick, and he was such a dick, and because I couldn't meet at certain times because of work.
Mm-hmm.
And one time he was like, "Well, I think maybe we can just tighten up that ramen budget so that maybe you can take a day off of work to like meet with your team members.
He said that?
Mm-hmm.
Tighten up the ramen budget.
Yeah, I don't know what that meant. I think he
I know
thought.
exactly what that means.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a stupid thing to say, and I was like, it's not a ramen. I have to work to be able to live
Mm-hmm.
and survive. And these kids aren't working. They just have their own time and they don't want to meet around my schedule because it's annoying. I was like, yeah, do you want to know who is most annoyed by my schedule? Is myself. Okay. But yeah, he was such a dick. Academia is nasty.
Yes, but
Oh.
it has a draw. It has a draw that I feel like I toured U Chicago with my buddy because he's getting his MBA.
Oh, I mean, that's way cooler academia than.
But when you're walking amongst that, you're kind of like, I could be one of you.
Ugh.
I could study.
Oh my god! And then like a
I could
montage
study.
of you in a library, and you're
I-
like, "Yes! Oh my god! I
I
can
would sit there
study
quietly
and be
and
smart."
I would read and I would write.
Yeah,
And it would be about school.
it would be about school,
Yeah.
and I can write so much, and I can learn things, and then I'll
Yes.
recite them to people.
Yes.
Facts.
And I won't go to this. I will not rent out a study room with my friends and then just spend the entire time drawing dicks on the whiteboard.
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
I will not explain the difference via diagram on a whiteboard in a study room about what the difference between foreskin and no foreskin is to Mike Foytlin.
No.
I will not.
I'm
do
gonna
that.
wear wool and dark mahogany colors,
Mhm.
and
The wool's gonna be
I
tight enough
smell
on my
good.
neck to where it could almost be suffocating.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, and very high
mm-hmm.
high wool.
Glasses and I'm never
One of those
not
backpacks that's
driven.
not really a backpack, but it has a one strap,
Oh, messenger
a
bag.
messenger bag.
Oh, you'd be the
because
messenger
I'm a
bag
messenger
person.
of knowledge and information.
You know what I would have would be like a really badass Coach briefcase. But I'm like, it's vintage.
Well, I'd have a pocket watch.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd
I
say, you know
like
what
a
time it is?
Study time. Study
Dude,
time.
we went into this one library. It looked like Hogwarts. It was like these super high ceilings, all these books,
Ugh,
and you felt like all the candles were floating over
Ugh,
these wooden tables.
I
and
love
I actually
it.
was just like,
plaid.
give me astrophysics.
Yeah, I got it.
I will figure it out.
I can do it now.
I just have nothing of value
Yeah.
to actually study in there, but I'm like, I could.
I know.
And then like even I was out to dinner with, it was my friend who was valedictorian, his friend from Brown who was the class president at Brown, and then her friend who's doing law at U Chicago Law, and then me. And so the entire time I was like, I belong in this discussion.
This group of people that are really good at school.
Yes. Just
know.
and the entire time I'm like, you're not any better than me. Not even one
not,
bit.
Not even if society. I know.
Not if every single possible metric points toward it.
I know, but I like when I would. So you've never taken ADD medicine
No.
before? Sometimes if you take like an abusive amount of it,
That's it.
you're right there with them, buddy.
Really?
You're right there. You're like, ooh,
I don't think I could be.
ooh. Maybe not them. They seem exceptional.
Maybe they're a bit too. Let's lower the
I don't know. I just keep
So-
thinking about the plaid I would wear. Yeah, I would love
the
to.
plaid.
So much plaid.
Yeah, this is kind of like the stoic thing where it's just like, do you ever just get intense fantasies of just like, what if I really just had it all together? What if
Oh.
I woke up and I had one alarm. And
That's
then
why we all buy the bulletin boards and the fucking
Exactly.
whiteboards. Yeah,
you have
'cause
this
we're
fucking
like,
dream of
oh
like,
my god.
and then at 9 o'clock I'll edit. And then at
Uh-huh.
10 o'clock, I'll take a 5-minute break and do 10 push-ups.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some bullshit.
yeah,
And this is so.
you're like, I'm gonna eat fruits and vegetables.
Oh, I haven't had a fruit or a vegetable in an incredible amount of time.
Sometimes I can do it, but for the most part, no.
I've just decided that I'm not gonna treat my body well until 30, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, it's time.
That's what I'm trying to work on, being like it's time.
Treating yourself well.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
30.
It's time.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Or just wait till you're 35.
No, because it's like the time now where either I treat myself well or I accept being ugly.
That's true. It's an inflection point.
Mm-hmm.
It's the two branches.
Mm-hmm.
There's if you believe in the multiverse,
Mm-hmm.
every decision that Maddie Naughton makes branches off into two different Maddie Naughtons. There's a Maddie Naughton that makes that decision. There's one that doesn't.
Mm. But
And if
sometimes I'm
you
like, maybe I just be ugly.
maybe I do that too.
No.
Dude, that's why having a hat is just the most amazing thing ever. Cuz I can wake up in the morning and just look like total dog shit, and I just put on a hat and then pull down the brim.
You're like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, I look
I look
like I'm a
amazing.
CIA operative.
Yeah. Oh, this is totally fine. I know.
And then I'll go to work and people will be like, "You look tired," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"How can you
Crap.
tell? I'm not tired.
I know. It's just hard to be consistent with
I
it all.
overslept."
Yeah. How could I be tired? I
How
somehow
much sleep
got
are you getting?
14 hours of sleep last night.
It's so funny when someone is like, "You don't look like or seem like you're getting enough sleep," and you're like,
Like,
"I slept for like
too much.
9.5 hours last night."
Way too much.
Yeah.
Way
I-
too much sleep.
For me, like an 8 hours is just that's like a joke to me.
8 hours?
I sleep so much.
I like literally will not function without 8 hours. I
Same.
won't wake up unless and then I'll be like not knowing what's going on during the whole day.
I can have one day of waking up really early, just like for tournaments you have to do it. It's like I'm up at like 4:30 a.m. You drive, you have this 3-day weekend, but then after that it takes me like a full week to recover. It's
Yeah, that's
just
horrible. I've
insane.
never done anything like that. I also I
Really?
just have like I did when I was not as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wake up early as an adult. Like
Yeah.
I don't do I maybe have had a few one-offs here and there.
I feel like there's like once
I've-
every 2 months there's like just a random event where you're like, I just got to rally, and you can never get in bed early enough, and you just have to accept. You're like, I'm taking a nap. And
No, I've
then-
never had an event.
Damn,
I don't remember the last time I've done an event.
you got to get more events.
Like an early morning event?
Yeah.
What am I running a marathon?
I guess most people don't have events they have
Not
to
in
drive
the
to Missouri for.
No.
Yeah.
I'll wake up early, and the reason I'm waking up early is like I'm gonna go. Like I haven't been on a walk early in the morning in a while, but and now I'm not doing anything like going to an event. I'm like, this is dope. Now I have 3 hours of extra daytime that I wouldn't normally have.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna like do something a little bit more elaborate is like the only reason that I wake up extra early.
And when you do that, don't you feel like the shit?
Yeah, I feel amazing. Yeah. So
But also, it's like when you're up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and you're going to bed, now it's just like, I need this 8 hours. So no matter what, I'm going to be getting up at 11 or whatever. Dude, and also my work schedule, it used to be 11 to 5 like every day, and they moved it to 2 to 8. So
that sucks. That's a huge change.
it's a huge fucking change.
Damn.
Yeah, and they just did it to us. They just sprung it on us. Like 1 week it wasn't that way. The next week they're like, all right, mid-shift's gone. It's 2 to 8 now. And
That sucks.
I
That
literally-
defeats the whole purpose of the whole job.
I talked to my manager and I was like, this fucks me
Yeah.
pretty badly.
Yeah.
This was perfect for what I was doing,
Yeah.
but whatever. The point is, now if my day starts at 2 the night before, I'm just like, my day starts at 2.
I know.
But then of course you're not taking into account, you're like, I should probably have 2 full meals before that.
Yeah.
But instead it's waking up at like noon and then making a ginormous feast. And then that's all I do is
I know.
just feast, and then I go to work.
Well, it's fine that you're acting this way. You're 24 years old. I'm 30 years old. I need to not act like a monster anymore. I need to take care of myself and my body and get like a little schedule going.
Get a schedule going.
Start doing a little schedule.
But
thing.
then, this is the great. You see it. Okay, so this book I just read, it was like this guy. There's like, it's the multiverse thing, and there's like a version of him that makes a decision to break up with a girl. And in one timeline, the one he's a protagonist on, he marries her, he loves her, they have a family. And then on another one, he breaks up with her, and he like invents the craziest science thing ever, and it's like a huge breakthrough. And he's super accomplished in his field. He wins like basically like the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever. but he's single and he doesn't have a family. And then so that
Yeah.
version abducts the version of him with a family and then lives out his life. So it's like, what if me being super productive and accomplishing all this stuff, what if that me is still like, I would rather have the other me's life where I necessarily didn't necessarily kill myself doing this thing, and instead I prioritize these things.
Yeah, I don't think it's that black and white
No,
though.
it's not.
I think
Well,
there's
there's an
like
infinite number in between.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there's like a million decisions, and as long as you're like continuously like, okay, are the decisions that I'm making me happy? Am I happy with where my life is? Then that's kind of the point.
But that's always fluctuating, right?
Yeah.
It's like it
Yeah.
seems like in moments I'm never happy ever, and then but in the grand scheme of things I am.
Yeah, that's just I think how life goes. Yeah, I think that's just how life goes. And then
Yeah.
you take it day by day and then you pretend like you have it together one day and then it all I don't know. I don't know. Don't Life's a lot. I haven't.
Norm Macdonald has a joke about where he's talking about like how ghosts are always like, he's like, what are they? They're always like carping about something. They're always like, and he's like, what's your fucking story? He's like, I was hatching it. And he's like, you think life's a fucking donkey ride to heaven for me? He's
Yeah.
like, my life sucks too. It's
Yeah.
like, at least you can walk through walls and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like general baseline is just whatever.
That's the same thing as like every time I feel like even after my car got towed, every time I feel like upset or sad, I'm putting it in air quotes even right now. Every time I literally was like walking back to my apartment after parking the divvy bike, and I was like, am I actually upset right now? Because I'm able to like have this internal dialogue with myself where I'm
Yeah.
like, it is fine. So am I really, does this actually suck that much? Even though I still have to pay 175, I have to wake up, I have to call them. Am I
Yeah.
actually upset? And then anytime I'm like sad or I feel like lonely, I'm like, what if I'm just like tricking myself into doing this so I feel like a normal person because this is what they should feel? Does that make sense?
Oh.
Do I sound
You're like,
insane?
no, that makes sense. You're like, I should feel upset or lonely right now because I don't have something.
Yeah. This is like the proper response to that, and I'm almost like pushing myself subconsciously into it.
No, that's a bad idea. You're also too young to be doing that.
To be pushing myself into it?
Yeah. If you don't feel that, then that's great.
But then it's like I think I do feel it. So I'm not sure.
Well, you can like kind of feel different things. I think your
yeah,
thing
the
just
camera
died.
died.
You can like kind of feel. It doesn't have to be like one thing or the other. I definitely have fluctuations of being like. I think that's just human normal self doubt. I think everything we've talked about today is just like being a person. Like we're just discovering about people. At least you're 24. I'm like 30, being like people. What is this phenomenon?
I feel like every time I have conversations with people, this is like the equivalent of me like talking to that guy about when he became a man, and everybody just like is just like, well, yeah, it's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
I know.
And you're like, damn, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we're all gonna die,
Yeah, I'm just like happy I'm not dead.
right? So but that's a good thing
Yeah.
because I used to be like maybe, although I still
know.
do think it's like people. I'm not gonna get into that, but like.
I know.
We love sleeping. I don't want to wake up,
What if I never
Unless
had to
my
wake
life
up
depends on
again?
it. Like if you were asleep and you just got like a video game screen that said like, "Do you want to just stay here forever?" If I
Damn
was
it.
lucid, I'd probably be like, "Fucking hell yeah, dude."
That means, you know what that means? That we would be we would do that bot thing.
This surrogates thing.
We'd totally do that.
Oh man.
It means you could sleep forever.
But we're like our consciousness is awake.
Oh, that's the worst part.
That's the pain.
The consciousness
It's gonna
is the
hurt really
worst
good.
part of
Yeah.
being awake is the consciousness. You're like, ooh. Let's just turn this off.
Yeah, but then it's like, what's the alternative? Being like a snake.
I don't know. Being in La La Land in my dreams is nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Dreams are always very, yeah.
And then like even if things go wrong, I'm like, but it's just a dream.
That's if you're lucid though,
um
because sometimes you're like, this is real life and shit's going really bad, even though
yeah,
rationally
and
it
then you
doesn't
get
make
scared, but
sense.
then you wake up from it. You don't wake up from life.
Child, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you,
You don't wake up from life.
you cannot wake up from life.
But what if you do enough ayahuasca?
That's what I'm
What if you
thinking.
do
Is
enough
maybe I'm not
DMT?
doing enough drugs.
If you do enough psychedelics, you wake up. You have an ego death.
I've tried. Trust me.
Really?
I've tried.
You haven't had an ego death?
I don't know.
Ah,
Who knows? What does
Yeah.
that even mean?
I think it's where you lose your sense of self, which I guess doesn't help us at all. You can just like say things in circles forever.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we need to do more drugs. Is what I've concluded from this.
I always say to myself like I want to do every drug, and then someone's like heroin, and I'm like I don't know about heroin.
No.
I don't want to do coke either. I just want to do all the like the
The fun little-
psychedelics.
yeah,
Yeah.
do that stuff. The coke and heroin and meth.
I want to be in magic, fun, silly, haha land, and
Yeah.
and also I want to be in like. Have you seen 22 Jump Street
Yeah.
where they're tripping and that's like Schmidt is in like the really
Oh,
sad one, and
then
then Channing
yeah.
Tatum is in like the super happy fun one. And
Yeah.
he's like, "You're dragging me down, dude."
yeah,
It's like a perfect metaphor for
Yeah.
tripping with somebody that's having a bad trip. Do you ever just have people that you would never want to trip with ask to do a trip
Oh.
with you, and you're like, I would never
Probably
wanna do
back
that.
in college.
What did you think I was gonna say?
If you had anyone that you ever thought you wouldn't want to have a good trip with, I'm like,
There's a
endless,
lot. Yeah.
endless list. There's people that
Oh,
I
man.
don't like being around in general.
Just sober, yeah.
I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I think in college I kind of remember that happening.
What? People asking you to trip with them, and you're like, I don't know.
Being like, never.
Mm-mm. And then you're like, I've had people who didn't really know me that well ask to trip with me, and I was like, what makes you think I won't freak the fuck out?
I know. Well, that was
Kinda makes
it.
me
Was
wanna
also
freak out
because
on
in
you.
high school there were definitely times where I did like too many drugs with people where I was like, I should not have done that. And then yeah, you get like a very narrow view of like, oof, I've had some rough people around.
I was talking to these girls that worked at my climbing gym that were twins, and they both did mushrooms, and they were telling me that like they both did it, and then they were both like hiding under the covers and stuff. One of them was like crying, and then one of them couldn't even like look. She was like, all men are evil. Like,
Oh my
every
god.
single man is evil.
That's why one's crying under the covers, because one of them is nothing but bad vibes. You need people to just be
I'm gonna
positive.
cut that. Yeah. That's the other thing is like I'm so convinced that I'm just incapable of really having a bad trip. I'm just convinced that I'm just going to be like, "Come on, man. This is what you came for."
Yeah.
Cuz every time I get too high and start like sort of freaking out, I'm like, "No. This is why we do this. It's to get to this point."
I'm way more like able to do that on mushrooms than I am when I'm too stoned. When I'm
Mhm.
too stoned, sometimes there's like, I'm never coming back from this.
Really? Have
Where
you
I'm just
almost-
like weird as dog shit.
like what?
I don't know, just like edibles, and then I like won't be able to talk to anyone, and then I like hate everyone that's around me, and I'm like, I hope no one talks to me either. And then I just like don't know what is going on. And I want to crawl in a hole and die. But with mushrooms, I can kind of like get myself out of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, weed is a hell of a drug at a high dose.
edibles just make me like the weirdest. I will say, I do have to be conscious of time.
When do you need to rap? I can rap whenever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you have a sign up.
All right.
So,
All right.
no, just whenever. I'm
That was great. How much time did we do? I have to
Go
pee so bad.
team. I know, me too.
1:20.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I thought we did way longer than that.
Like the conversation was
Dude.
never ending.
Should I just? I have to cut some of this stuff, but yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Do you wanna say goodbye? Do you have anything to plug or?
No,
anything to
I hate
promote?
when people ask me to plug things.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Any like
okay.
message you want people to go home with?
Don't do drugs.
Okay. All right.